Obrigada. E eu vou só pôr isto em apresentação. Aqui a Diana. Exato. And feel free. Espera aí, deixa eu só confirmar o tempo. Desculpa. You have 15 minutes to present and 30 minutes to discuss. I don't know why it's not adding. Okay. Check the clicker, please. Yeah.
Deu?
Deu.
Okay, guys, good afternoon, and we will start with expansion strategy updates. Before we talk about actual updates, I will explain why we are presenting this here. We are going to look to the expansion strategy. As you can see here, it says that the strategy has to be presented during the second national platform of the year, and that's why the topic is here, because we are compiling this document that was voted during the national platform of data. These are the priorities that we have on the strategy that was written and voted, the source that we are currently working with them, Leiria, Viseu, Guarda, and Santarém. So now let's move about the actual updates. Update number 1, we have been working and support the application process with the entire association. We are not here to be voted on this national platform because they are not ready yet. So maybe on the next national platform or in the future. We are still currently working with them and making them able to be here, and when they present they are ready to start and ready to be part of our federation. We have been developing ESN Upgrade in Viseu, and during this process we have participated in the Welcome Days in Viseu, and I had a meeting with the Professor Isabel from IPVL. This was really good for us because we got the connection with them. We for this not going and they start to be a section and a candidate section. It's because the currently students that are there are almost leaving the university and they don't want to assume this. The thing is, we are trying to get the contacts of the new ones, so they want to assume this and want to follow this, but we are still in contact with them and we will try to bring them here as soon as we can. If I can't, I will pass to the next vice presidents. Meeting with interested people from Guarda. Yes, I can talk about the rest. Guarda and Bragança are in the same situation. I had a meeting with them, I showed the process and they were like afraid of the process, too much things, and they were alone. This was a case of only one student of each, and they don't feel that they are ready to do this. They are trying to find more people to join them and try to create an association, but as you know, it's not just joining ESN Portugal. First they need to create an association, have everything according to the law, and then they can apply for being part of ESN. I can't manage to find more people. They are trying, they are contacting with me, and we will see what the future holds for them. And recently we have done a welcome session in Setúbal, Beja and Viana. This helps for them to at least know who we are. We still don't have students that are looking for our help to start this process, but it's a point, and we are trying to get the association name in the rest of the cities. And that's it for this academic year. That's all.
Thank you. Your 15 minutes are very much 5, but that's okay. Thank you, Diana. Não está certo. Não está aberto? Podes vir para aqui se quiseres.
Tipo, eu não tenho acesso às perguntas. Não. Mas eu não consigo abrir as perguntas que as pessoas fazem só lá no computador do Vitor e no bolso, provavelmente. Vocês conseguem abrir as perguntas? Ver?
Não. Dá para ver cá perguntas, mas não dá para ler o que estão lá escrito. Mas sempre foi assim,
Não.
eu nunca consegui.
Does anybody have questions about the expansion strategy? Pode ir para aqui depois se quiseres, coração.
Tu vais por ali, não?
Sim, mas se for mais fácil ver assim.
Obrigada. Mas podes ficar aí, não sei.
Sim, não estás sempre que estás a falar, né? Vou esperar por eles. Uma retirada silenciosa. Would anybody like to start the Q&A and then submit their questions in writing?
I can start.
Please.
Slay.
Is there
O microfone.
Thank you.
Felipe Silva, St. Coimbra. So my question is regarding the meetings with the Guarda in Bragança and the fear and the certainty of the process in membership. Wouldn't it be a good idea to meet with the community managers or other people so they can feel that they have a task force and a team that could help them in this process, not feel so alone, and to show a team that are here to help through the process and incentivize them to join.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. I do agree more or less with that. I do think it is a good suggestion, but at the same time, imagine you are a student and I arrive to a meeting with a group of people doing things, asking things. It's just like they come to a meeting with me and they are just like, oh, I came back from a program of Erasmus Plus and I want to create a section here. I want to have a ESN on my CV. And they go to the process. I told them like you have to create a system. The thing is not that they don't feel support because I have a structure with me and I have people that are willing to help. It's just that they don't have more people with them to create association, and it's kind of hard for one person only to create an association, and that's the only reason why. The process is always asking them to talk with the associations that already exist in their cities and in their universities and see if they can find more students. At this time we are on that process to find more people, and then they already know that we have people to help them. It's not a case that they don't know. It's just that they don't have more people with them. It's not like imagine if you are my community manager. Imagine if I call you to go to the meeting. Yeah, you can help tell them that things that are already probably said. The thing is, you can be part of the association with them, and that's the only problem that is here for the process.
Can I come? It was just a suggestion so they can physically see the people who are there
Okay.
for them. Okay. It's just psychologically, it's easy for them to see the faces behind the help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pedro Almeida.
So, Polytechnic University of Rio, and it's you already have shown interest in having an essence section there sometimes. Do you have any updates regarding this?
No. The answer is no. I don't have a group of students there. They have to talk with us again. I can go and ask them. It's just that I don't have expansion officer. The idea of the strategy was to create a list of contacts of associations that already exist there, and we can work on that already work of something similar to what we do and see if they want to be part of ESN. But at the moment I can do that by myself.
Second.
Can you do the other one?
Yes. Yes, and Bragança. Give me a sec.
Is it possible to try to reconnect with all the Yes and Vacancy people, and do you consider it a good idea?
I don't know if there are still students there, but I can see. I don't think so. Do you want to talk? No.
Okay, so currently the open office in Bragança are working with Erasmus Plus.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Margarida.
missing on the process,
Yeah.
please?
They are currently have a lot of students that are leaving the association and new ones entering, and it's a knowledge transfer that they need to pass the knowledge to the rest of the people that entered like some weeks ago. And they have 2 people from their board doing an Erasmus program away this semester, so it's been kind of difficult. We were waiting for these people, like the newbies, to have a meeting again and see what is happening. But they are still doing activities for the international students as Integra, and they are still talking with us.
Jelena? Name and section, please.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm from Business Slovenia.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yeah, sorry. I can just
Yeah.
hello everybody. I'm Elena. I'm from Business Slovenia. I'm here. I just wanted to ask. I'm just curious. What is the process in Eastern Portugal to become a candidate section, and then what are the requirements to
What's a good one?
Pause.
Okay, well, I'm asking them to open our standing orders, but they first have to be a legal association in the country, and then they apply for a form to be part of SN Portugal. I can't tell you all the things because I don't know in my head, but we will open the document and I will try to translate it. Just give me a second.
Grupo informal.
Yeah.
Can I...
Good. They have to constitution. Also. They have to have a body program. They have to. Como é que eu vou traduzir? They have to be in compliance with the statutory regulations of ESN Portugal and follow the General Assembly. They have to contribute to ESN Portugal's good name, show their interest and that they're dynamic in their actions. They can't have contrary conduct to ESN Portugal's interests, and they have to be sigil. Yeah. About information. But this is the part after creating an association in Portugal.
So they become an informal group of ESN Portugal, but they're already an association within Portugal itself.
So they have to be legal.
Yeah, they have to be legal with it, yeah.
Oops.
Yes.
Do you want to continue or just informal groups?
So,
Yeah. Miguel.
It's been covered.
Thank you. Pedro Almeida.
It's covered.
Amazing. Rodrigo.
So, Rodrigo from ES and Tomar. In the times where our smaller sections from in Portugal are facing difficulties with the minimum requirements, do you think it's reliable to become in some terms it is okay, and I think it's good for the network to grow. But since the ones that we already have are faced with the requirements, do you think it's reliable to have new sections coming from zero and have to learn everything from the ground to withstand the minimum requirements in where our, for example, Tomar faces 10? Do you think the new ones it's going to be like a easy thing? Do you already have some kind of how can I say guidelines to help them? For example, documents. I know that you already did. Okay.
Microphone.
I know that you have those meetings to help us. Are you thinking, do you also use them to help them implementing in the starting process? How can you do it?
First, to respond to the first part, as it says in our POV, is not a priority at the moment. We are most focused on the network care because I agree with you. The priority is to help the sections that are already here than the others. Second part is that we have expansion officers, so expansion officer.
Mhm.
So I don't have someone to help me in this. So it's not my priority at all. But I respond to all the things that come to us and all the contacts that come to us. I'm not saying, no, I'm not going to try to help you because I have other things to do, so I go to the meetings and I try to help them. But it's not my priority. About the process when they want to create a section, I do have the help of an expansion officer. At the moment, no, but in the previous semester I had one. And yeah, we have tools to help them. It's like giving our documents as a base to see, and saying that we have people there to help them, as you say, to all the sections that are here. So all my support positions are ready to help them, and all the community managers are ready to help them if they need, and if they actually start the process.
Carolina? Carolina Antunes, GSN Porto.
Have you ever considered
Girl.
allowing interested people to join the network directly as a section without first being an association? Was this ever done in the past? No?
This is the law of Portugal and not the law of CSN in Portugal, so no. They have to comply with the law in Portugal to be association.
Okay, just to clarify. Thank you.
Mel? Pali. Can you stand up while you're asking a question? Because I feel like that will help you remind that speaking up is a thing.
Marina Melli, could you please talk a bit more about the impact that the Gizio adds on the expansion strategy? Did it actually help having more people interested in creating a section?
Yeah. Okay, so I already talked about this last national platform, but I will repeat. We had an event there. It has an impact by itself. They had two students from the university present. They have this professor present with us, and they learn a lot about our association and what we do. So now the students that are there, now the professor that is leading this small group knows everything about us and keeps touch if she needs to. Then Edgar and Patricia were there in presence before the event because they have to deal with some things with the students to create a section. So I think that it has an impact because of this.
I have another. Can you change my? Sorry.
I did.
Could you please further explain what is the process you are following right now? What is the first steps in trying to reach new students to create new sections?
Me by myself, I'm not following things because I don't have expansion. It's not my priority. I'm just getting in touch with the people that get in touch with me. But Elder, as president, has contacts with the universities, and he finds people to welcome sessions and to try to create impact and to get our name there. That's the only thing that is being made now.
Pedro Almeida?
Pedro Almeida, SNP.
Wait a second, sorry.
So is there any kind of administrative support processes for groups of students that aim to create an association but they are in the data section?
Yeah, during these meetings that I have with them, I explain the law of Portugal. I show that they have to register in RNAS, what the documents they need to. I show them the contacts and everything where they need to go and how to do that. Basically, that's it. And we have. And we use Patricia about this, and I'm always talking with her. Follow up.
Do we have like an advance with a lawyer that could also help with the statutes and the standing orders?
It's not in, we already have
You can reply as well. It's a national board topic.
Actually, like it's not a real need like to consult a lawyer on this part because we have like the templates and of the sections and for the statutes, for the internal, for the standing orders. So here the process, like, it's clear and defined. The problem is the whole bureaucratic process in Portugal to create an organization.
Filipe?
So my question is regarding Santarém. What's the kind of situation? Is there any group or just the need because of the international university?
Only the welcome session. We know because of Edgar, there are some people that want to join ESN. We receive an email and we will start the process. We didn't have a meeting yet. We are on the point that we get the email like 1 week, and we will respond and see and manage to have a meeting.
Acho que ela já fez.
Yeah.
Ela já fez.
I didn't close. I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose? Speakers list is closed. Sena.
Tomar, ESN Lisboa. So consider the balance that you presented here from the last year, that you are not taking some developments because some sections are afraid of the process. Did you consider updating or changing some priorities on this expansion strategy approved last year?
No, it's still our vision. It's just that we don't have the human resources to do that, and we are trying our best. But all the things that are written in that document represent what we want to achieve.
Good. Thank you, Diana. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we might have to change things for the coffee break to not be 1 hour after lunch. But we will do that after this topic, so I guess Elder will be the... Gira isso. Okay. Canva?
No, it's the documents.
Certo. Amendments, activities, description. Abre o tópico de vocês, por favor. Thank you. Can you scroll? Okay. Tell me where.
Yes. Okay, everyone. So, changes to the National Board Task Description. First disclaimer, once again, this is not a statutory document, okay? We want it to be approved by you, so we all at least follow the same philosophy for the future. So, here, the big difference is the change between the Vice President and Events Manager. It's going to be Vice President for Governance and Vice President for Development.
Shouldn't the Events Manager also be?
Yes. The responsibilities of the national boards, we added provide leadership for continuous development of the network. This is something that was missing. We also compared the task description of the international board that was also revised in the last GA. So we follow the path of the network, basically. And this is one point that was missing here. The persons applying for the national board should be people able to create impact, to have leadership skills, and that's really something that is needed. Okay. So here, for the position of the president, we added, to make sure like everything is in place, the ultimate legal responsibility for ESN Portugal, and we finally took out, and it's the last time we have this word in our documents, I think, the management and engagement with ESN Portugal's local representative community. So here we say bye to the Vice President, and we say hello to the Vice President for Governance. Basically, it brings here some of the biggest part of the tasks of the former Vice President. We take out the training and development and learning and development part. So here we have everything related to network care, the administration of the quality assurance, support and replace the president in case of need. So this is the Vice President that is the second responsible, let's say, for this, for ESN Portugal. Then we have the Human Resource Management of ESN Portugal, also is the main responsible for the internal procedures. Human Resource Management of ESN Portugal, already said that. Information Documentation Management of the Federation. So here is also very important that this becomes like a goal and a mission for these persons to keep all the information accessible, that is not a reality right now, and to make it really like easy to access. Sustainable expansion of ESA in Portugal and support to candidate sections and informal groups, support to the higher education institutions without a section in Portugal. So here, always in liaising with the president, since he's the responsible for the community eyes. But it's important here that we don't see only the vice president without this responsibility too. So people have the responsibility also to showcase this. Manage and engage with ESA in Portugal human resource community and actively participate in the HRN community of ESA International, cooperating with other members of the community. Here on specific competencies, you can see leadership, interpersonal communication, organizational skills, proactivity, diplomacy and external representation, ability to manage stressful crisis situations, assertiveness, facilitation and training, knowledge of internal procedures and official documents of ESA in Portugal. This person will be directly working with the chairing team, since the Vice President for Development won't do all the efforts that the current events manager is doing for the logistic parts of the MPs. So here, the Vice President for Governance will be the main responsible to ensure that MPs happen in the best way possible. So now, Vice President for Development, so it takes up the responsibilities of the events manager and the training and development part of the Vice President. So we have manage the content portion of internal events, so content for training events, manage and engage with the pool of trainers, supervise the organization of the Erasmus National Meeting and management of the organizing committee, find stable and long-lasting national and international partners in order to improve national events, together with the Treasurer and Secretary of ESA in Portugal. So here, these partners it doesn't have to be financial partners only, it can be people that like organizations that help us with grants or to make sure that we have developed events every year. Supervise the organization of the Erasmus National Games. So here, once again, it's not something operational. We want the national board to be as strategic as possible. So here is the supervision to see if VOC needs anything. Okay, the organizing committee should be the one working in the field. Study viability of implementation of new national events designed towards international students. This is really important. We have been talking about the reshape of VNN for ages, and now we want this position to be really focusing on the strategic aspects. Responsible for implementation, creation of guidelines for the national events, supervising and supporting the organization of all the national events, together with the Treasurer, supervise and approve all of the budgets and the reports for the national events, manage the feedback of all national events, manage and engage with the ESA in Portugal's events community, actively participate in the international Erasmus Games community of ESA International, and participate in the TNA community of ESA International and with the other members of the community. The specific competencies with the ones that were already there. We added here also facilitation and training, since he's the main responsible for this. On the Treasury, we don't have any change. On the Secretary, we don't have any change. Events Manager is out. The communication notes, and we can send it by email to add it on the standing order are supposed to enter in rule, let's say enforced, the day they are voted. So if we approve the standing orders tomorrow, we are not going to change the guy's name for Vice President for Development tomorrow. This is to be implemented in the next elections. So if approved, the open call will be for President, Vice President for Governance, Vice President for Development, Treasurer, Secretary, IT Manager, and Communication Manager. I said 7 of them. Yes. So yes, so I want to thank you also for the big engagement you had on this topic. We talked a lot about it. We also gathered the feedback from our alumni, and we are very happy for that. So yeah, we are here to answer your questions.
Who's handing the mic? Who has the mic? Who has the mic? Onde é que tu deixaste o microfone?
O microfone ficou para mim.
Who has the microphone?
Sorry.
Neves? Name and section, please.
So yeah, my question is,
I mean, the number of positions stay the same, but there's a lot of pressure, I would say, maybe on those two people. Do you think it's feasible, like in terms of human resources, that you have your volunteers members?
Yes, thank you for the question. Actually, the tasks are quite like, they are not very different from the old tasks. So here we are taking away the fact that the events managing in Portugal has always been a very active position. Like head of the OC for ENM, also a head of the OC for ENG, even if it shouldn't be. But we want to take away these parts. The head of the OC should be the volunteers that are applying for it, and not the national board. The national board has to give a strategy for the OC to follow and to supervise if everything goes okay. Added to this, we are taking away some tasks of the vice president, current vice president, to give it to the events manager, because currently the national events, the training events that we have in ES in Portugal, they are, the content is created by the vice president, logistic aspects are managed by the events manager, and the treasurer has to approve everything.
And the secretary.
And the secretary has to see if there are grants and to put them in the agenda too. So sometimes it can get a bit messy, and here we're like centralizing a big part of the work already with the logistics and the content. So yeah.
Thank you.
Is anybody else adding themselves to the speakers list? Appreciations go last. Tomás.
Tomar, ESM Lisboa. So in the VP development tasks, you talk about the events community. So my question is that if the training will be here, like the activities and training and activities community, like in ESM International, and if the local vice presidents will need to attend both the community of HR and the training and activities because of the training part.
Amazing question. So, no, the VP for Development takes the scope of the training. He attends the TNA community at the international level. In Portugal, the goal is to the sections to not follow this, okay? Because it doesn't make sense to a section to not have an events manager or activities manager or whatever you want to call it. Because you do events every single day. You need to have a board responsible for this. So here, the thing would be to still have vice presidents on the local level responsible for the training, okay? But here, also, the training coordinator has to do a liaison between the VPs that are in the HR field and the VP for the development, okay? So the two VPs, the community in Portugal won't be called training and activities. It will be only for activities, for events manager, it's events and activities community. And the HR will still have the training part and the support positions, and the two VPs will also collaborate together.
Thank you.
Renata?
First of all, I want to thank you for the work in this. I think it's something that is making a lot of sense, especially in ESN Portugal. Regarding my question, this is just literally a small doubt that I got from the presentation. When you mentioned that the Vice President for Governance is working directly with the sharing team for the MPs, making sure everything works out smoothly, are you only talking about in general content, agenda, etc., also in logistics part? For example, opening up the OC, working with them, etc.
Thank you. So after the revision of the statutory documents in NP Madeira and NP Coimbra, the chairing team has already this responsibility, this task, to take all the logistic aspects on their side. This year, we are still managing, working quite closely on these procedures, but the goal is really to give to the NPCD, the chairing team, the responsibility for all of this. Opening calls, prepare with the OC, of course, always with the supervision of the Vice President for Governance. That has to be the point of contact from the National Board to make sure that the agenda that will also be responsibility of the VP for Governance is everything aligned with the logistic aspects of it, okay? The Vice President for Governance is there to make sure that it aligns with the needs of the International Board. But all the logistical questions are here for the sharing team. National, not international, sorry.
To add to it, currently the events manager is the one who takes care of everything for the event itself, but I'm always communicating with the OCs just to make sure that we have a list of requirements every time we have an assembly, like the microphones, the extensions, the table, the chairs, everything. So I just make sure with them that we are covered in that. I'm already talking with Evra, thanks to Edgar as well, because of that. Also, we're constantly talking about when the coffee break is, when the lunches are. The national board and the audit teams have access to the agenda earlier than you do, so that we can iterate it in order to make sure that the topics make sense. For example, it doesn't make sense to separate the amendment to this year's calendar from next year's calendar, for example, that kind of thing. So the events logistics is on their side. We just make sure the assembly is minimally okay with the resources that the sections have. Okay? Does anybody else have a question besides Mathilde? Then I propose to close the speakers list after Mathilde adds herself. Does anybody oppose? Then Marianne, you can do your appreciation while she doesn't write her question. There.
Yeah, this time it's just appreciation.
Thank you.
Because I think this is truly Marianne and sorry for what Martha. Because I think it's a big thing for ESN Portugal, so I want to thank you so much for giving this step for our federation, because I think it's going to truly impact us, and I think that with this organization you can really focus on being like our parent and our federation, and having some important topics that should be addressed and sometimes are not because the events manager is overloaded or the VP and everyone. So thank you so much for doing this for us.
Thank you. Thank you for being so, and honestly, like, this is something that has been talked in the past, but I think like what aligned here the step that we did was like, both me and Diana, I think that we had the, I can speak for both of us, that we had like the experience. We don't want people to go through the same thing. That's it.
Mathilde? Mathilde, stand up. We can see you. Talk loudly. Come on.
You mentioned briefly now that the support positions will be kind of delegated by both. Is there going to be any structure?
No. The training coordinator will be supervised by the vice president for development.
Okay, and
we will only liaise the needs, like they will work like the three together, like in the HR community. If anything says like, oh, we really need this training here, like the vice president for governance has to contact with the training coordinator and or the vice president for development directly to organize this. Like the governance part has to do the quality assurance of the network and to say like, these are the needs that you, the vice president for development, have to tackle. This is what the agendas for the events need to tackle. And the vice president for development just needs to follow what the vice president for governance has.
Yeah, but in terms of the support positions, like the health and wellbeing coordinator and everything will be, so it will be switched from the events manager will be directly switched, like the support position itself.
Yes. What's from the events manager stays with VPD, and the training coordinator switches to VPD.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, National Board. I would like to make a change to the agenda. Desculpa? No, I would like to put the international updates now, if it's okay with the National Board and the international guests, so that we try to not have the coffee break so early and still see Vinha at the same time. Because I think it's too early for a break already. Passa para daqui a 40 minutos. Is this proposal clear? Yes. Thank you. So, once again, for good fun. Twist. Nossa, estamos trancados. So, do you approve having the international updates now and then the coffee break? Yes, no, abstention. Yes, and Algarve.
Yes.
Yes, and Almada does not have the right to vote. Yes, and Aveiro.
Yes.
Yes, and Castelo Branco.
Yes.
Yes, and Coimbra.
Yes.
Yes, and Covilhã.
Yes.
Yes, and Évora. Yes, and Lisboa. Yes, and Madeira does not have the right to vote. Yes, and Minho.
Yes.
Yes, and Tomar. Desculpa, Porto first.
Yes.
Tomar.
Yes.
Utado. We have 11 out of 11, so we are going to do that topic now. Is it Canva? I closed the phone. It's your time to shine. Woo! La 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 la. You have the pointer, you have the microphone. Podes subir bocadinho, se calhar. The Canva is loading also.
Okay, so let's take a little break, and we are in Brussels right now, so I'm going to switch and I'm going to present you here the international updates, and of course our international guests will update you about their NOs. So, the first one about the GA in Thessaloniki. It were approved amendments to the events policy paper, the approval of the budget for 2025, the election of the ASEAN Rock Law as the OC for the GA autumn in this year. NOC was elected for the Erasmus Generation meeting in 2026, and Kazar International Club approved as a candidate section of ESN Azerbaijan. So, about the consultations and feedback, we are stepping out. So we began with the Erasmus Student Network strategy priorities for the 2025-2031. Right now we are on the Erasmus Student Network action plan. We are already giving feedback about that. So about the extraordinary GA in January that will happen. So amendments to the status was already discussed. You already gave us your feedback. The addition of the warning procedure for the sections related to branding rules, the clarification of the annual membership fee calculation, and the revision board to the task description related. So about this beautiful event that happened in Porto, it was a really good event. I was there, me, Elder, and Edgar from the National Board, Sofia Brito to the communication community, Tomás Sena for the education, and Catarina Pedro for the training and events, and of course other volunteers from our federation. Props to ASEAN Port, of course. Right now we are like 3-4 days to go to EGM Ancona. I don't know if Sofia wants to say anything about it.
Yes. Hello everyone, to those who are going, I hope you are excited to go. There's a lot of information that is going your way, a lot of things that we need to discuss on Monday, but I hope you are all big troopers and are willing to take on this information and then just make sure you represent this in Portugal the best way possible. I'm super happy to be your delegation leader, super happy to have Vienna by my side, and let's go. See you in Italy.
And now I will talk.
Just to give you a very quick overview, it's going to be a very, very interesting GA. We are approving the long-term strategy. We are approving the 3-year strategy. We are approving a new action plan. We are approving also a report of the year, okay? So a lot of several candidacies. So first we have 3 candidacies for EGM 2026. Okay, so there's a lot of competition there. And now I need some help, I think. So it's Budapest, Pafos in Cyprus, and Split in Croatia. So yes, so you want to read these candidacies to see what's your preferences. Then we have 2 applications also for the OC of GA Spring 2026. One of them is from ESN Portugal on behalf of ESN Coimbra. Let's go. And the other one is from Prague. So let's see how the network votes on this one. We got 10. Then we have, for the statutory bodies, so going for the chairing team, we have two people running for main chair, one of them being Gonçalo from Eastern Portugal. And then we have also Axel from Eastern Switzerland running for administrator, the position of Gonçalo. Okay, and there is a vacant position. So if any of you wants to go there, you're free to go. I mean, you have to ask support to your local section and to your annual. After that, we have the arbitration board that doesn't have any application, so it's completely empty, and it's a 2 years mandate. So, yes. Then we also have the audit team that has Eli from Estate UK as main auditor. There is also Andrea from Eastern Romania as financial auditor, and there is a vacancy for the procedural auditor. And then for the national board, there is one application for every single position. We have Simone from SN Italy for president, Kaya from SN Poland, and the actual VPG for the vice president for governance. We have Anya for vice president for development, Wivina for treasurer, once again, let's go. We have Anastasia from ESN Cyprus for communication, and we have Marco Comotti, that I think most of you know, for WPA of ESN International. He's from ESN Italy. I think I said everyone, right? Okay, so a lot of interesting things happening. There is also the votes on ESN Iceland to join the network. So have a very good consultation and lecture on the documents, and in the next local words call we'll be discussing and voting all these documents. I think that's it. And have fun in And now I'm passing the stage for amazing international guests.
Yes, exactly.
Hi everybody, once again my name is Jelena. I come from actually Bosnia, but I live in Slovenia, so I'm representing the in Slovenia. And my local section is one on the coast, a small one. I'm currently the project manager of in Slovenia, and so I'll be presenting a little bit what happened. I don't really have much time, and we probably really don't know much about the annual. Okay, so this is a map of our annual. It's a very small country. It looks like chicken. And Eastern Primorska is on the coast. That's my local section. We have two in the capital city and one in Eastern Maribor. So what have we been up to this past year is, so we have a partnership with our national agency, very grateful for that. So of course for some financial compensation, so we renewed the contract for 1 more year. So happy to announce that we're also participating with ESN Portugal for the next project on IEG Plus. So we can talk about that more, and yeah, I'm getting very excited for that. Also, we got our first project actually because it's my first mandate and we didn't have this position before. It's the local face, but the rural Erasmus in Slovenian high schools, which we got inspired by ESN Portugal. So yeah, happy to begin with that soon. And we have collaborated, we started our collaboration with one association, which is a Slovenian Association of Students with Disabilities. And so far we had like a couple of presentations, unfortunately just online, one for them and one for us. So, and we're looking forward to like collaborate more future projects and things like that. Okay, so some pictures and you can see what we've also been up to. So we had our autumn National Assembly in Ljubljana in November. Like the main thing that we did was approving the action plan and the budget. On the left, you can see our president and one of the local presidents. They're presenting for like colleges, I guess you can say that, in Slovenia. And so we're kind of also expanding, trying to get more sections and so on. And part of one of our, let's say, tasks for the partnership with the national agency was social media campaign, where we were promoting internships because it's kind of underdeveloped in Slovenia especially. So it was like a series of videos and like social media posts. And we also did like a workshop, it's called reintegration, and we're also planning another one. The first one was for coordinators, and the second one was going to be for students that come back, and it's going to focus on like, let's say the culture shock when you come back, how to reestablish yourself when you come back after your exchange. So really quickly, that was it. Thank you for your attention.
Hello everyone, my name is Mina. I am the communication manager of ESN Tallinn. Currently, I'm actually from Turkey. I study and I live in Estonia, and I'm doing Erasmus in Lisbon. So all the countries. So yes, in Estonia, just to begin with, we have 5 sections in Estonia, which 4 of them are in Tallinn, and we hosted NEP 2024 in Tallinn. Currently, as of right now, they are having a National Assembly 62, which they are electing the new national board. And we have ESN Estonia Skill Box, which is a 2-day event of training full of workshops. And more about ESN Tallinn. In this mandate, we got 18 new partners. Our partnership manager is working a lot. Our purpose is we want to get all the possible partnerships in Tallinn. It's a small city. We want everything. We got 5 ESN awards nominations, which is super great news for us. And this semester we also established this new social media project of Humans of Tallinn, which is basically people voluntarily sharing their stories about Tallinn, or about ESN, or about Estonia in general. And it's very, and as you may have already known, Tallinn got, Tallinn is a finalist for Estonia Destination of the Year. We are so happy, so proud. In Tallinn we have 7 universities, 7 private, 7 public, and 3 educational institutions focusing on science, and we have more than 40 partners and trying to get more in all the areas like accommodation, sports, foods, everything. Tallinn is also, the Tallinn Old Town, it's also, you can see here, it's a UNESCO heritage, and it's really important. It's the biggest highlight of our city and everything. And we are doing trips. We are doing trips to Lapland, trips to Baltic countries, trips within Estonia, trying for Erasmus students and also local people to experience this Erasmus or just the life in Estonia in general, to have the best experience possible. And yeah, that's basically, thank you.
And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. These are the international updates. And that's all from our part. Thank you so much.
Not yet. The topic's not closed yet. Pronto. You're so quick. Who has Carlo? Fish. Elder!
No, it's for me. Elder is in Portugal, so first of all, thank you for being here with us. And so from what you heard today, and what you know about this in Portugal,
Okay, girls, can you come here? No?
Okay, I've heard a lot. You guys are really great, and you have such good structure. So maybe like the structure you have, I really like it. But we're also like a smaller country, so it wouldn't work exactly. But I would definitely like the structure, and I feel like the seriousness and like your dedication. Just in general, but and honestly, like the best practice from Slovenia. It's hard, compared to, it's like such different countries. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's more or less the similar as the small country, but I think it's really great how motivated everyone looks like here. I mean, I don't know much
imagine that, but still it looks like everybody is so motivated and like you're achieving great things, and I think I would love to take that back. But yeah, for my Sonia, I don't know, what can I suggest?
Filipa? À tua esquerda?
So my question is regarding the Slovenian Association with Students with Disabilities. What are the goals? What have you been doing? What are the next steps? And how exactly does this affect your network and the international students?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Okay, let me see. So first of all, what we wanted to do initially is like start a project with them, and what we wanted to like focus on was coming from the inclusivity project of ESN International, which is not really, from what I know, not really that active now. But we want to like take from that and start our own initiative. So basically, yeah, we wanted to do like a project, and we still have the we still want to do it. That will be the mapping university, because like on the MAP website, if you know what it is, it's basically for international students that are coming to university to know all the like inclusivity guidelines, like to know how much they have to prepare, who to talk to, and so on. So yeah, that's like one of the main goals. And then we're just gonna see from there on what we can do together. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, what is being done currently, like we just had the two presentations, and now like there are a lot of open calls. So we're gonna use one of them or more to do something together. So how does this impact our network? Yeah, we just want to get more visibility, but we also want to work on that, like the social inclusion. And of course, the international students, we want to support them in a better way, especially those with disabilities or any disorder.
Bizarre? Muito tempo que não dizia assim.
Hello, Vitor Bizarro, in Portugal. My question is, even though we've only been like halfway through the national platform, have you spotted or noticed anything different we do it here from your own national platforms? Anything like in the environment, in the people, in the topics, whatever?
Yes, and thank you for the question. Yeah. And you get like, oh, you have the Portuguese time, and I'm like, I came here and I expected, okay, we're gonna be chill, we're gonna know. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and I, kudos to that. Yes, exactly. I think we also focus on the like international updates or section updates. It's super quick for some reason, I don't know. Even though most of the time there are a lot of stuff happening, they like we cut it short, and it's more of discussion most of the time. But yeah, it's great that you focus on it so much.
We're available if you want help as well, or volunteers. Carolina?
Hello, Carolina from ESN Porto. Well, first of all, thank you both for your presence here and for the presentation. It was lovely. I had a question about something that really interested me, and I wanted to see the impact, how it was, how does it work, yeah, about your Erasmus journey, the social media campaign that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Oh, yeah, I can try, but I don't really have the data. It's not my department; it's the communication department. But yeah, we were like, the idea was to promote internships with real stories, like what they did, the testimonials, every time a different person, different experience. So yeah, I don't really have the data, unfortunately, from the national agency, and like if they saw any increase. And I think they're gonna probably look at report now at the end of the year. But yeah, I think it's an important thing to do, to like not just focus on study exchanges, but just like all the different kinds of mobilities.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Does anybody else have questions while we have our international guests here? Gonçalo. Questions or appreciations?
Question. I can send it up, right?
Yes, please.
So for both of you, as in your
Stand up, Gonçalo.
Hi, in both of your countries, you have more than one section in the same city. How do you see the situation of the cooperation between the sections in the city? And do you think that, what do you think of the model in Portugal where we have only one section per city? Thank you.
Good question.
So, great question. In Tallinn we have 4 sections, and Tallinn is not that big of a city. But out of those 4 sections, 3 sections are focusing, they're university sections basically. But we have 7 public and 7 private universities, so most of the university doesn't have a section. And they don't feel as comfortable, like, let's say my university doesn't have a section, those students don't feel as comfortable as going to another university sections event, even though it's like they can go there. So I think in that case, having ESN Tallinn, it comes in handy because we cover all the university basically, and we are also doing section cooperation with other sections, which can bring a better perspective for everyone. So like all the universities, like couple, how can I explain? Students from different universities also can meet up, and they can like get to know others' experiences as well. I like that it's, for example, it's only one section in Lisbon, but at the same time, I think, I'm so sorry, it's my experience, but sometimes it's maybe hard to get the ticket for the event because there is a lot of demand for it. So I think it has, like, in general, it has its own pros and cons in its own way, you know.
Yeah, I would agree with Mina. For us, it's not that we have 2 universities, just that they are founded. One is under the university, one is under a different association. So I can't really tell you like the official stand of Slovenia. It's my opinion. Like it also has its pros and cons, and people mix up the sections like students. But yeah. But I think I would also like, in my personal opinion, I would have only one section per city, or that we kind of unite. But that is also another problem for community. So, but yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, girls. You can go sit if you want. Actually, we're going to coffee break. You don't need to sit. Yeah. Okay. So, Coimbra, Lisboa, please. We're going on a short coffee break. It's going to be another 20 minutes. We have attendance lists for everyone to sign. The first couple names are for the person with a vote. If you're not the person with a vote, do not sign where your section is stated. Sign in the other ones. And when you come back, we're going to be talking with Rui Vinha. So he is going to be in a Google Meets call to be with us. And we then have a sheet for him as well. Long story short, for him to apply for the international board, he needs a percentage of sections that say they support his candidacy. We have the paper for him because he's obviously not able to be present because he's in Brussels. So please, after his presentation and before you leave today, make sure that you sign it in case your section agrees with his candidacy. Is that clear? Yes. The person who signs it is who? Thank you very much. See you in 20 minutes. You have until 4:05.
4:05.
You will have 20 minutes to present. 20 minutes. I have 10 minutes to present and 10 minutes to discuss. You want the document, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a document for a document? You can start whenever you want. Tell me what you want.
So everyone, this proposal is to change the Erasmus National Games from the 21 to 23, from Friday to Sunday, to 29 to 1 of December, because in the 1 of December is holiday. And the logical of this change is because usually the volunteers need to go to Coimbra to prepare the event on Thursday. And with this, they lost 2 days of classes, for example, and with this change, they only lost 1 day of classes. This is good for the volunteers because they don't miss so much classes, but for the international students, because usually the sections complain a lot because on Friday they have students coming later because they have exams or they have classes. So with this proposal, this don't will happen. So we will have a better open ceremony, more partners involved, so will be good for the event. And the proposal is this.
Is it clear? Wonderful.
Exato, para os voluntários ali do trabalhador.
É o dia a seguir ao meu aniversário, tá bom?
8 de dezembro é o sábado, não é?
Sim. É? Não, é segunda.
É outro feriado.
Este ano é segunda. E dia 8 de dezembro é segunda também.
Eu já estou a dizer.
Zal. Espera. Does anybody have questions? Comments? Anything? I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose? Speakers list is closed. Obrigada, Edgar.
Foi ela que disse do trabalhador. Eu ainda trabalho, tá?
Eu estava pensando no pai.
So everyone, regarding the for the next year, we'll keep the same weekend for the National Strategy Meeting. The SN upgrade will start in the end of February. We have a national platform in the end of March, like here in Tomar, in Algarve. The main... The main change is the Erasmus National Meeting that we push away 1 weekend because it's holiday on Friday, the 1st of May, so we can use again the holiday as we used to do on the 25 when is on Friday. We have the LVM Lisboa in June, the national platform in Minho, and Level Up Évora. LVM in Covilhã, SN Upgrade in October in Castelo Branco. The anniversary of SN Portugal in Coimbra. The Erasmus National Games, we keep the weekend, we didn't change because the same again. If the volunteers go on the 26th to prepare the event, they will miss 2 days of classes. And if we push 1 day, for example, to the 1, they will miss the Friday and the Monday of classes. So the change will be benefit for us because we'll have the same days of missing classes, both for students and volunteers. and the community meetings Aveiro. And that's that. Question?
A lot.
Tenho 27 anos, respeito-me, tá? E é pronto.
Não tenho a Carla. Dá para ir a Mariana, se chama. It's not on. Amigo, tu vais mandar para lado nenhum? Filho da puta.
Mariana Costa from ESN Porto. First of all, thank you for your proposal on the calendar. I think the topic, I know what you asked us to don't do context, but I need to.
No, you can do the context. You can't do one question, that's 20 questions.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so to give you a context, I was checking the dates, and when I did my upgrade, the dates were March 10th to 11th, so the second weekend of March. We have been voting for the calendar on the upgrades are becoming earlier and earlier. As you are aware, many sessions we have 1 month recruitment, and we asked why these changes, and you replied about your ESN Portugal calendar and about the events that are happening. ESN Port still wants to propose to postpone the ESN upgrade 1 weekend, and I can already tell you that I talked with all the sections and I got, I believe, 8 confirmations that this would be okay. Because I tried to approach the national board before and you told me that we need to adjust for the federation and that this is better for the federation. But actually when I talked with them, there was no problem with them with this change. And it's actually, we have other sections, if they want to speak, that this affects their own recruitment process. Because on your answer, you mentioned the preparations of the documents, which I understand, I'm local board, I know how hard it is to do them, and it's even harder for you, but I believe you can actually prepare them before or start. And also, I want to remind you that we have the candidacy of the vice president that mentioned that the national board doesn't need to be in all the trainings of ESN Portugal, and now you have a pool of trainers. You could, of course, give your face for ESN upgrade, but you don't need to be an upgrade all the 3 days or the 2 days completely, because you have a pool of trainers that are more than able to do the trainings for you. So this is our proposal, and this is what we want to ask for you regarding upgrade. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can comment. Are you willing to move? Okay, the question is, are you willing to move the upgrade 1 week?
Yeah. If is what the sections want, why not?
Thank you very much.
Manel.
Okay.
Wait. Ah, não tem escrito. Go for it.
Sorry. But anyway, I apologize. As I mentioned in one of the questions I did, as currently it is, this calendar, the NM dates are in the same time as the first weekend of like you mentioned in the answer, yes, it only, I don't know how to say it, but it's only in parallel 1 night. But still, like, I think, and ESN Port thinks, that it would affect the participation in the event. We have a lot of students enjoying that vacation, that week just for their own vacations, because they know earlier in the semester that they have that week free. Also, a lot of them are going to Cain, of course, and even for in terms of like ESN Porto itself, like it's not very convenient because there's a lot to do in Cayman. We are in Cayman, so our volunteers are also not as available to anyone. So this is the perspective of ESN Porto. Also, we would like to understand if this doesn't conflict with possible international events, because we know like NM is always between EGM and the GA, and the GA will possibly be in this weekend. So that's I don't know, just because there's a possibility it's in May, the GA, so it's either that weekend or the two next ones. Yes, I don't know if you want to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna answer this about GA. So for the GA, you have always 3 dates that are preferable. You only know the dates later stage, like maybe like in December, January, you'll know the dates. So it's really unpredictable. The thing is, like for us, the national board, we are not elected to go to ENM. We are elected to represent us in Portugal. And like this year, I'm not going to EA. That's my duty. So it's not a problem for us, national board, to have it on the same dates.
Yes, I understand, and yeah, it's mainly the board, of course. But what I was saying, like, but those 3 dates are already, we know already, right?
No, because they haven't been elected yet.
No, the options.
There are like a lot of options, but none of them has been elected.
Ah, yeah.
We are electing it now. It's
But
either
one of
Coimbra-
those options, right?
I have to look into it. It's Coimbra. I don't remember what dates.
But the proposal from Coimbra, it's
From the 23rd to the 26th? From the 23rd to the 26th, I guess? 23rd to the 26th of April? I don't know. Just want to hear about
My opinion regarding that.
Yes.
If we change, we will propose the 16 to 19 because we is in the same weekend it is a trip and so it's to be in separate dates because we lost students for that date.
for a visa trip.
Yeah.
How do you know you lost 2 students for a visa trip?
Every year we have feedback. And the same applies for Erasmus Life now. The weekend is the same. They are 30 kilometers from us now.
Yeah, but we shouldn't change for Erasmus.
Yeah.
Gonçalo first. Tua esquerda, Bruna, tua esquerda, Bruna. A outra esquerda, Bruna.
There was a question about
Louder, Gonçalo.
for the General Assembly, so for Coimbra, yeah, it was the weekend before. For Prague, in case they win, it is the weekend of the ENM in your proposal.
We have already said, but at the end it is the international board who shows this, and the international board said that will choose the 8 from 7 to 11.
Vitor?
I just want to add that the biggest bonus we have on this weekend is the fact that we have the holiday on the 1st of May. And I would like to ask you, yes, I know it's not the best scenario for you, but do you think it's more impactful to have all the international students not having the event happening on a holiday? Or is it worse for you to have just 1 day of overlapping payment? Because I think if you move around, all of the international students in the country are not going to be able to attend the event during a holiday. You're going to have to lose like 2 rather than just 1. While if you are considering the international students as a full, they're just going to miss 1 night of payment. So I think it's.
Thank you, Porto.
Can I do the rest?
Yes.
I think I can. No, I can't. Sorry. I always forget.
With your voice, you kind of can.
Okay. Look, we will obviously think about this internally, but it's a first. And I think it's a risk. And being ESN Port one of the most that has more participants in NM, I'm not sure if this is willing the risk. Just is our perspective, but we'll think about it and
Thank you, Matilde.
So I asked this question you to speak more about it because you answered that the MPs for I spoke about events in general, but you said that the MPs for birthdays were in Coimbra, Porto, and Lisboa because accessibility of the venues and stakeholders, because they were like more. I'm not sure the criteria here. But I would like to highlight, to comment on that I don't think it's true. I think that the other sections could also be very accessible to stakeholders, important stakeholders. We have other sections that already held international events, and those are a problem. So I would like for you to comment a little bit more on that, not only about national platforms or national platforms on birthdays, but events in general, because even though I don't want to disregard the importance of any event, but I think that we can be subjective on that topic, that not all the events have the same impact on the section level, and I think that having those being always in the same cities could affect highly the work of the other ones, because if you highlight one city and it has great impact, that's good, but if you continue to do it every year, then only that city receives the the spotlight for that. So I think it's just disregarding maybe the whole give with those events, like the major events.
So we proposed these cities because it's a fact. We have, for example, the birthday of SM Portugal in Milan, and a lot of partners answered saying that they didn't. Yeah, only one partner. Most of them say they didn't go because it's far, and they didn't have time for that. I think it's not the highlight to the section, it's the highlight to the federation. We can think about the highlight of the event is a section. It's an event of the federation. And I think all the events can be highlighted by the sections. The same I say to you, for example, Atitude Participativa. The events have partners there. But how much participation, for example, we have in Aveiro was low. But you had the opportunity, for example, the president, the ITVJ, the municipality.
Can I get but for example, the Attitude Participativa was the event that was the report of Attitude Participativa. So it was not something that moved a lot of volunteers and that showed the impact. For example, I think that when you see a room of a national platform and you see the impact of what is being discussed, it is more important to a stakeholder than seeing, like in Aveiro, it was very difficult to arrange for participants to go to an event of an initiative that they haven't heard of. So it's different. And for example, I mean, of course I'm going to speak about Aveiro, I'm not be biased enough to say that I think that we could hold an event with great stakeholders, and for example, I think Minho, they have Agência Nacional, so I'm not really sure that only those 3 cities in all the 13 sections would hold great events with that highlighted the federation of its whole, and not only, of course I'm thinking about the federation itself too. I think it's just, we could do more in terms of working in general and not only those 3 cities.
Thank you, Matilda. Is anybody adding themselves to the speakers list? I propose. Chop chop.
I have
What?
one question.
Wait. You got this better than most people, but wait.
Just have a small question. If you propose like changes to this calendar, it has to be now or in the.
Desculpa?
If we want to propose like changes to the calendar, they have to be voted now or when we voted?
You have to make a proposal with those changes. So they have their own proposal and it's voted on, but you can also issue a calendar proposal and we vote on that. But you need to send us.
But like if it's approved always, as like have a proposal to change it after. So
Yeah.
like this can be the basis,
Yeah.
and on that, building it like in the future, like.
It's an amendment the same way Edgar just proposed,
You can
but it
make
can
that-
be proposed by sections, not just the
Yeah,
national
for
board.
example, we can make that in Lisbon forever. But with this kind of event, even online.
Yeah, even online. We can do through the mailing list, through the GA app, national platforms for documents like this. But you still need to present your own version of this document. I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose? Speakers list is closed. Thank you, Edgar. I am going to cut the streaming because this last topic is going to be a closed session. Does anybody oppose?